Wagwan Trandem, it's me Maya, and I wanted to take today to talk about a video that I came across on my timeline on TikTok by Joe. I don't know if it's Joe UK or Joe.e. It's basically just like it's essentially like the Sun. It's just a fucking rag. But it brought up a very interesting question of the fact that people who vote Reform or vote right wing in the UK are having less and less chances to begin dating people because nobody else wants to actually date a fucking reformer, a massive conservative. Nobody wants to date them. And I'm going to be showing you the video on this and responding to their points that these men make. But first I want to just talk about what exactly is reform. Well, for anybody who may not know, the Reform Party is essentially like the UK's version of the Republicans in America. They are heavy on privatisation, the NHS, the railways, which has already failed, but they still want to keep it privatised, postal services and much more. They're massive on anti-immigration things, which is how they are getting such support from a lot of low IQ individuals, generally people who aren't smart, vote for Reform UK, because they have no economic policy, they have no actual standings, they just want to send them back, just like the Republicans in America. And they're the type of people, as you've seen probably on TikTok if you're from the UK, they're the ones putting up the fucking Union Jacks everywhere to be racist and scare away people of colour, or they're painting roundabouts to be the British flag, which is the funniest fucking thing. I see your dad's handling the divorce well, and they generally have a cult of personality, much like the Republicans have Trump, the Reformers have Nigel Farage, who is a Russian asset, and also just a major gee bag, as we say here in Ireland. So I want to get into the point, so let's begin the video.
The difference between left and right, especially on campus and all that, does make dating difficult in my opinion.
Especially on Hinge profiles, you've got your political views, you put like conservative, you put like reform, and anything far right, they look at you differently.
They look at you differently, and I understand why. People look at you differently because, first of all, you are a Reform voter, you don't have good skills with women in general, and the Reform Party stands on very archaic old traditions from the 40s to the 70s, and women have a lot more freedom nowadays. Women have freedom to choose their jobs, their positions are no longer overlooked because of the fact that they are a woman. That still happens, I believe, but they put like nice little spin on it so they don't actually have to tell you that's the reason. You are less likely to listen to women, and you're extremely dismissive if they don't follow along with their with your kind of thing. And this specifically happens with immigration, as we've seen at a rally against immigration. A woman stood up at the stage where they're all giving their speeches and basically said, hey, I was groomed, but not by immigrants. And as soon as they said that they weren't groomed by immigrants, the microphone was snatched out of her hand while the crowd was shouting to get her the fuck away, calling her a bitch and all other horrific names.
I am a victim of grooming. I was groomed when I was 11 years old, and I am disgusted with all of you here. I'm disgusted with all of you because it was not an immigrant, it was multiple.
So it really shows that the Reform Party does not listen to women. It doesn't give a shit about women. And yet they still platform and run on that platform of saving and protecting women, which is fucking stupid. And generally, another point to it is just society is changing. We're not the fucking cave people we were 10,000 years ago. There's no need for a man to protect women against a fucking bear. And nowadays most women actually choose the bear because they're less likely to attack you than a man. So no woman wants to have lived with all this freedom and grown up with all this freedom. Say even for hypothetical reasons, you're a woman, you're going to college, because this is filmed at a college student in particular, you're studying to be a neuroscientist, and a man comes up and goes, hey, let's date. I have very conservative views. Even though you're in college studying neuroscience, you're not going to be working. I'm going to be working, you're going to stay home, and you're going to become a housewife, and you're going to take care of the kids, and that's what I want. You don't get a say. Of course she's not going to fucking date you, bro. And even further with that, with the whole like a massive racist aspect of Reform UK, which they say, oh, we're not racist, we just care about immigration, but they are terrified of anyone who's not white. That is genuinely the cause. As you've seen across the UK and Northern Ireland, or the north of Ireland, hey, massive riots happen anytime a person of colour kills someone, and it's bad to kill people. That's what I'm saying. It's objectively bad to kill people, but you don't see when white people do horrific things in the UK. There's no stance for that. When women or children are harmed by white people, there's no uproar and riots. All it is the fact that they hate people of colour, and then they go, oh, we're not racist. Fucking shut up. And as I mentioned, Southport riots and there was riots in Ballymena in the north of Ireland. And the thing about it is, that's even more disgusting, is they talk about saving women and children and being protectors, protectors of women and children. 1 in 5 or 2 in 5 of them at the Ballymena riots in the north of Ireland were found to have been known to police by domestic abuse. And you're the one protecting women? Good point.
When you see the liberal woman over here, I mean, just being a man, they're going to look at you and think you're racist or whatever, because that's just the assumptions they make.
Talk about assumptions here, and it's funny because they see what your group, what you believe in, because if you vote for what you believe in, you're voting for the Reform Party, and they have continuously shown again to be violent individuals who attack anyone who's not white. And you say, oh, we're not racist, but this is not what a woman wants. No woman wants to fucking have her boyfriend be like, okay babe, you mind the kids, I'm gonna go paint some roundabouts and I'm gonna go box up anyone down the local Chinese takeaway shop because, like, even though they came here legally, I just still don't like them. That's not what a woman wants. And women want freedom in a relationship. That's the biggest thing. And you say assumptions because as if it's kind of similar to what's going on in the United States. Or what even, like, it's like, oh, well, not all bad. Not all Nazis were bad. Oh, well, I voted for the Nazi party, but, like, that doesn't make me a bad person. I just, like, come on, like, I'm not that bad. Yes, you are. You are fucking following and upholding this party that is directly destroying the United Kingdom in itself. An easy way you could have done that is just by voting fucking Conservative.
I understand freedom of speech, but I don't want to interact with anyone I think is a racist.
With the way culture works, a lot of men, I mean, I can speak for myself, but a lot of men will probably just be afraid to go talk to women because these days you can just say hello to a woman and they can blow it out of proportion. They can do many things.
Women are very sort of like, if one thing's wrong, you know, if they have like one red flag, you know, then women won't date them, which is, you know, all good.
A really odd one because it's easy to talk to women. There's a time and a place. Obviously, if you approach a woman outside of a coffee shop where she's clearly doing something, reading on her computer or whatever, and you go, hey, you look really, really good, and do you want to go for a coffee sometime? You never met me before, but can I have your number? Obviously they're going to say no, and that will freak them out because of the massive amounts of sexual assault that goes unjustified in the UK. So people are genuinely scared, and there's no way to protect yourself in the UK for women. There's no personal defence weapons allowed at all, and it's just, that's an even bigger thing. And say time and place, not on a coffee shop. If you're in a club and you're both of you are having a few drinks, having a good time, good vibes with friends, make the move. She says no, cool. She'll never know who you are. She'll never do, like you say, they always say that they can do so much worse. If she doesn't know who you are, what the fuck? Like, just go say hello, and if she doesn't, and she says, oh no, sorry, I have a boyfriend, go, okay, thanks, bye. And if you're just looking for a mate, just go, alright, I wasn't even looking for that, but okay. Like, I find it weird because it's probably me being a femme-presenting individual, I find it much easier to speak to women because I can go over and just be like, oh yeah, I like your dress. And they're like, oh cool, thanks, I like this, I like that, and then we just start talking. But with men, it's just kind of like, you are seen as the aggressor, and you have to recognise that. You have to fucking immediately de-escalate a situation because if people will find it weird of you coming over to her. And it's also just who you choose to go over to and who you choose to surround yourself with, what atmosphere. Like, I'm used to gay clubs and gay bars and everybody's fucking lovely in there, everybody's loving each other in there. But if you're going to a straight club, it's a lot different, and I'm not really used to those. I mean, I'm 24 and all I've ever been to were gay bars and gay clubs. So yeah, you just need to be careful with that and recognise the time and place. That's the easiest thing. And then to talk about red flags, yeah, Reform UK and generally just conservatism in general is a massive red flag unless a person, as I mentioned, is brought up in that scene. Because if you have all the freedoms in the world and you want to actually do something with your life as a woman, and some man comes along and goes, oh yeah, I expect you to be a housewife. No person wants that unless that's what they are actively seeking for. But no person impromptu wants that, which is fucking stupid for them to believe in. And the fact that you're putting politics so far into your, like, love life is weird as well. I mean, that's just something I don't do. I mean, probably because I do lean left, I don't put politics that far. That's normally like a month after a month, are you bringing something up casually? You don't just be like sat down at the table at a dinner at a date being like, right, yeah, what do you think of immigrants? Like, that's just not what you do. I just don't understand that as to why politics is so important to them in a dating life. I mean, it is with me, because I want someone who can match my, who want to match my beliefs and want something the same thing in my life. Because if you're two different people that want two different things and have two different plans for life, then it's kind of fucking shit. But it shouldn't be something you open with unless you're ragging on right-wingers, which is how I start conversations with a lot of people, and that's how I end up making a lot of friends.
A few weeks ago I was on Hinge, and obviously you go through it and you can see your political views. I don't think I can name one time I saw a single woman that said conservative. Everyone is either liberal or they put nothing. Well, it's moderate. Moderate is fine, but it's always liberal. And immediately I'm going to say no to that, because with my views,
women, once again, I just want to reiterate that women have the choice now to do whatever they want, and men kind of have to start respecting that, because it's not only that men get to do whatever they want anymore, and that's the funny part, is that women now can do what men have been doing for the last 100 years, and you can't get angry at the fact that they want to do what they want to do. It's everyone's personal choice. That's the word today, personal choice. Even further with that, these individuals are falling further into the right wing, the incel pipeline of individuals who believe that women have to date them. And they get so wrapped up in these traditionalist views that they feel like, I'm destined for these traditional views, when they can't actually bring anything to the table. Like, if you're working in a Circle K or in a fucking petrol station and you're going, well, I want a traditional household value, I want traditional household. How are you fucking supporting someone off of like 20 grand a year, especially in this economy? No. So both of you need to work. It's pretty common. And just in the economy today, that traditional lifestyles would not survive, and especially would not survive under Reform UK, because they would hike the price of fucking everything. The UK just has been making consistent backward steps since Labour in the early 2000s, and like, it's just massive to see. I'm kind of happy of it. I'm kind of happy with it, with the UK kind of falling apart, because I am Irish. So it's just kind of like watching someone you hate or a bad ex, and you're like, you get confirmation that their life is going horribly, and you're like, yeah, there we go. And women want compassionate partners. They don't want someone who is judgmental of another person, especially people of colour, just for the skin that they have, and want to remove them from the country for the skin that they have. It's fucking vile to even think that, and that's what they want. They want compassionate men. They want people who want to be able to open up their emotions. They want people who want to be able to open and be a good person, because it's stronger to recognize the emotions you have and deal with it than to just cover it all up and pretend it's not happening. And that's why a lot of males have a larger suicide demographics, because they don't talk about their emotions. And that's the thing. If they were to talk about their emotions and discover things about themselves that have hurt, and they won't share, because if you don't share it, it just eats you up inside. So they want compassionate men, and that's where they tend to go for more liberal left-wing individuals, because individuals on the left are more compassionate in general, whereas liberals on the right are very discarding of anyone but themselves. They're very selfish and foolish individuals, and that's documented. That is exactly documented. I mean, a massive documentation of it has been the entirety of America voting against itself, voting in a person who will cut every social safety net for citizens, and just to pay off their billionaires, and they'll still cheer that on. My favourite joke is just the fact of how many Republicans does it take to change a light bulb? None. Donald Trump told them it was fixed, and they're all cheering in the dark in there. Like, it's voting against your own interest is such a stupid thing, and it happens way too much now. Because everyone, as I mentioned in my last video, everyone's a social contrarian. If I say I like pasta, it has to be, well, no, that's not allowed. Like, see, my opinion's better because I have God on my side, but you have to like chips more. Like, it's such a stupid system that we live in nowadays, and I just wanted to mock and make fun of this, and maybe give a little bit of an insight. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. My name is Maya, and feel free to subscribe. Nearly at 200 subscribers. You guys have been great. I've enjoyed making videos and kind of just yapping at y'all. I got the big yap sesh moments on. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.